I saw a video of this lady who's talking about leaving her husband, and she left her husband because he came home and told her one day that he lost his job, and she was like, okay, cool. And then I guess the following month he was asking her about paying the bills, and suddenly, according to what she says, she was like, oh nah, that's not what I signed up for. Like, I mean, I would consider it if you're gonna pay me back. And he was like, no, why would I pay you back? Like, I'm in a rough spot, right? So isn't that what like relationships are about? Essentially, she came to terms with the idea, and according to her was pretty blunt in saying, like, no, like, you know that I expected you to be a provider, so if you're gonna look to me to pay a bill, to even think about a bill, I'm out. Like, I think it is absolutely crazy that in 2024, knowing the cost of living, knowing all that it is that we know, women are still running around acting absurd. Like, let's just really think about this. So you're married to a guy who admittedly has been paying all of the bills. You haven't even had to think about them. You told him your money is your money and his money is your money. Apparently, after just 1 month, he has no money because he has to look to you to be able to pay the bills that he's not able to pay in the moment. And you're only willing to do that as a loan. I could see how you're benefiting from this because this whole time, I guess you've been pocketing your own income. But what then is he getting from this? Like, the benefit of being in your presence? Y'all gotta stop being delusional. That's why people are moving in the way that they're moving. That's why people feel so loudly about, when they see couples getting together, and they just know that these women are going to behave like this. I understand it. And I think at the end of the day, if this is what it's going to be, then marriages need to just automatically come with prenups. The same way I think that when you have kids, you should automatically have to have a DNA test before a birth certificate is signed. Like, these guys are getting all types of twisted and robbed legally, and there's no protection for them. So fellas, if a girl is not willing to sign a prenup, or if a girl tells you, like, I expect you to be a provider, I don't even want to think about a bill, and if I have to think about when I'm out, like, take her at her word. Understand she's probably for real. And when you fall in hard times, which inevitably at some point you will, you're going to be by yourself in these trenches while being tied to somebody. It's crazy.
Honestly, I feel like these modern women don't truly understand how hard they're actually making it on themselves. Whether you're in, it's getting to the point to whether you're in a committed relationship or a no relationship at all. Situationship, it really doesn't matter. You're going to need the man's buy-in. You're going to need the man's assistance. So I don't need a man's buy-in for nothing. I'll just stay single. Right. So when you're single, there's a lot of modern women that get on social media and they say, oh, I'm struggling. Can somebody send me, each one of my followers, send me $1 a day and I'll be set for the year out of 70, 80,000 followers, right? And it ends up only being like a handful of followers sending her $50. And she has to continue doing that for the rest of the year, struggling, trying to work and then beg for money from her followers. So you're struggling when you said that you were strong and an independent woman. Okay, so that's one scenario. The next scenario is that you get into a relationship. You secure the bag, you secure the man. Now it's time to get married because you got the ring. I've been doing everything great. Because modern women have been acting the way they've been acting, now a man's like, yeah, I've worked really hard and I want to protect my stuff, right? And so now, instead of you being able to fully share and fully gain that man's trust, he's saying, I trust you, I love you, but let's make sure that we're both good in the event of, well, but we're never going to get divorced. Love is forever. Yep, I know, but in the event that something catastrophic happens, go ahead and sign this prenup. And now you're mad at him wanting to be single again. Why doesn't he trust me? Well, it's because you've been acting a fool. And so now, it used to be when a woman entered into a relationship with a man, and I'm not saying this was for all relationships, but it used to be when a woman would enter a relationship with a man, then the money's flowing in, the money's coming. I get access to that money, right? And for a time period, you absolutely do. But because you signed this prenup, there are certain things that you don't have access to and might not ever have access to. And you did it to yourself. The more you act like this, the more you say things like this, the more a man sits back and like, ooh, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be anywhere near that. And it'll be because your mouth got you in trouble. Oh, I ain't going to help a man out. I ain't going to pay for a man. If a man loses his job, he can lose me too. Okay. Once again, I love you to death, but sign this prenup. Oh, I don't want to sign no prenup. Oh, see ya. Take it easy. All right, wish you the best. And that's it. Well, he ain't got to. And you on TikTok talking bad trash about him. But he gave you the option. And number one, number two, you was out there running your mouth talking about how you wasn't going to help him. So since you're not going to help me, you're not going to take all my money. Sign this prenup. Sign this prenup. Have a ball. Have a blast by yourself if you don't want to do it. That's what a man's going to say to you now. Y'all keep it up. Y'all ruining y'all chances single or in a relationship.
Here's my hot take on this. Gender roles are gender roles. Each gender is very specific to themselves. Men can't have babies. Women can. Women can have babies up to a certain age because that is how their bodies and biology works. Men can never have babies. They make babies, but you gotta have a man in order to make a baby. So we do have to agree that men and women are different. And I know that this has been a very clear topic of conversation for a lot of people for a lot of other reasons, but let's just be clear on that specific. Men cannot physically have a baby, but they're needed in order to make a baby, and a woman carries a baby. Very simple. So when we start talking about if people don't believe in gender roles, then they're okay to split things and split finances and not care about that kind of stuff. But are there not a man and a woman in a relationship? I'm not saying that there shouldn't be equality and equitable interactions in a relationship, but a relationship is not based on transaction. When you start talking about basing relationships off of a transaction, you are losing the entire point of a relationship. It's going to fail every single time because you are expecting something for giving something, which is not the way a relationship works. And I will say, even in same-sex marriages, there's not 100% equality. And it works. And it works why? Because they kind of agree as to who takes over what role. Because there's gender roles. And that's kind of a thing. So I think that if we continue to move away and think that everyone is equal 100%, we're never going to have our own expression. We're never going to have women being women and men being men. We're going to all just show up to the line and be like, who's who? No one's going to be able to tell. So we have to be okay with understanding that there are gender roles. We just have to be okay with that. And the more you try to force that away, the worse relationships get. And we've seen that. And I think that's one of the problems.
Well, I mean, it sounds good, but once again, we can break it down. She talked about the baby sort of thing. Well, I need a man to have a baby, but, the woman is going to carry the baby. So that's what I can do. But unfortunately, for a lot of modern women, that's all that they do. And they only do it for what? Exchange for a man taking care of them. Sprinkle, sprinkle. This is what these modern women do. That's what they think like. That's how they think. That's how they move around. So it becomes a transaction. Okay, you want this? It's a bargaining chip. There's literally a woman online. I reviewed a clip where she said, this dude, I'm strong and independent. And this dude said to me, well, I forget what he wanted. He wanted children, actually. He wanted children. And it ended up coming back, her saying, and she admitted this on TikTok, I'm not lying to you. She admitted, well, if I give you a child, then I'm going to need a maid. I'm going to need a nanny. And I think she might have said personal trainer because I want to keep my body in shape and I'm having this kid for you. That sounds like a transaction to me. That sounds like a, if you give me this, I'll give you that sort of thing to me. And another problem is most of this giving comes from the man. A man has got to, or the expectation to give comes from a man. He's got to give. He's got to, hey, I'm interested in you. Let me show you that I'm interested. Hey, I'm a friendly guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. Let me show you that I'm a good guy. He's paying. The way for me to show you that I'm a good guy is to send you a whole bunch of gifts, is to give you a whole bunch of stuff. And now that you understand that I'm a good guy, now what do I get in return for being a good guy? Oh, well, you should just be good. Right. I am going to be good, but I'm not going to be wasting my time and my money and my resources on you. I'm not going to keep on doing that. Oh man, you quit. These guys don't want to court no more. That's what you get out of it. A man doesn't want to doesn't want to date, doesn't want to pursue, doesn't want to chase, doesn't want to approach, doesn't want to court anymore because he stopped messing with you because you was wasting his time. That's what we get out of it. A bunch of shame and slander for the man, but no responsibility and accountability handed right back at the feet of a woman, of a modern woman. So now I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that stuff. Either you're going to play your role or you're not. If not, stay where you are. Period. I don't want to deal with that nonsense.
I'm sitting here laughing about a situation, right? I'm over here in McDonald's. I see a young lady, and she asked me, why did I ghost her? I didn't think I ghosted her, I just blocked her. This was some time ago. And hopefully she'll see this and she'll see why I ghosted her or blocked her. Moral of the story is, met a woman, went out quite a few times, enjoyed her company, beautiful sister. And she told me that she has some medical problems, health issues. Cool. You know, I have a problem with that. You 40 plus, you know, we all have issues. I just haven't had mine as of yet, and I pray that I don't. But the moral story is, this sister says she has, what is they called? Damn, seizures. I don't know if they grandma seizures. I don't know what type of seizures she have. And I know for a fact, I remember a friend telling me she was driving and her cousin had a seizure. She had to take the wheel before they hit a tree or something. But getting back to my story, for whatever reason, she told me she has seizures, and I said, well, if things work out with us, I'm gonna hold you down. I'm gonna make sure you're good. You teach me how to if I gotta put a tongue in your mouth, not a tongue, a spoon in your mouth, or whatever medicine or whatever therapy, or I'm gonna do whatever I can as your man to make sure that you're good, financially, physically, and spiritually. She says, cool. We're getting along. A couple of days later, we're still talking, and I'm telling her that what I require as a man, you know, I like to eat. I'm 240, I'm 6'2", and I like to have food for my lunch and possibly for my dinner. So I'm saying, if things was to work out with us, you have a problem with, you know, doing meal prepping, at least 3 meals a day so I can eat at work, you know, because I don't like spending this money here and there. She told me positively, no, I do not cook, period. My daughters cook, and I'm not cooking for a man. I'm not prepping no food for a man. That's not who I am as a woman. I'm like, so I'm sitting up here telling you how I'm gonna hold you down mentally, physically, and spiritually, and financially, and even as far as your health is concerned, but you telling me as a woman you refuse to cook for a man, but you talking about you want to be a wife.
Exactly. And what did we say about gender roles? What did we just say about gender roles? Modern women don't want to do them. She just dumped on him. Hey, first of all, I have daughters, multiple. Okay. Fine. I have daughters. Okay, we're going to take that. Maybe he's got daughters or kids of his own. Maybe he doesn't care. That's entirely possible. Okay. She said, I don't cook for my man. I don't cook for no man. So you mean to tell me that I'm being the protector and the provider that you want? I'm making sure that you're whatever's going with you health wise. I could have just walked away. I could have just walked away. But I'm making sure I'm down. Compromise. I'm down to do this. But hey, I like to meal prep. I don't like to spend a whole bunch of money out. Do you mind cooking? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to do that. Not ever for no man. For no man, not even your man at all. This is what I'm saying. You don't have to guess. You don't have to guess what these women going to do. They going to tell you. They going to let you know. Oh, I got a buddy of mine that's going to run a background. No, I don't even need to see if you're a criminal because I already know that your behaviors are unbecoming of a woman. Your behaviors are unbecoming of a wife, and I don't want you in my face. I don't want it. This is what I keep saying. This is what men be saying. What am I going to be paying for if you're not going to give me anything in return? I don't mind being a good person, and I'm gonna continue doing that, but it's not going to be for you. These modern women expect to say stupid stuff like that, and then you continue to pay for them. You continue to bring stuff to their doorstep. At they feel, I expected them to keep on paying for me. I expected them to go all in. He's a secure man. I told him I wasn't going to cook it. I told him up front. So he ain't got no reason to ask me to cook and clean later on down the road. Okay, so what are you going to be doing? Nothing. I'm not going to be doing anything. I expect a man to take care of me, every part of me. And these modern women be talking, all these men, older men want is a nurse with a purse, a nurse with a purse. What does she want then? What would that be called? She want a man to take care of her, but she don't want to do anything. Man, y'all gotta stop.
This how you know only make unrealistic standards for men. I've never seen a stud over 6 feet that make over 100K, over six figures. But I always see a stud with,
Bro's eyes had the utmost seriousness. He didn't thought about this. That man said, not today, Satan.
So if you meet someone in their late 40s, never been married and no kids, run. I cannot imagine dating someone in their late 40s that's never been married and no kids. Like, what the fuck is wrong with them? No one wanted to wife them up, or no one wanted to marry that guy? Or was he a little playboy? He didn't want to ever commit to anyone. He likely has never had to sacrifice or put anyone's needs in front of his. Who knows? Maybe it was the whole, his career came first. He had to move so many times. There's always so many fun excuses. But never would I ever, if I was a guy, I would think this as well. Want to be in a relationship with someone that's in their late 40s, or heaven forbid, older, that's never been married and no kids. I'll leave those to everyone else.
Yeah. If a guy would have said this, then it would have been a problem. And we know this. If a guy were to say, well, you're really getting up there in age, why are you not married? You seem like a great person. Why are you still single? Women blow their top. Oh, I could just be single because I'm doing that. Okay, well, let me know that. Why are you single? Well, are you focused on other things? Where's your direction? Where's your path? If a man were to ask a woman where she's going in her life, her direction, at least these modern women, they get upset. I don't need a direction when I'm with a real man. A real man is going to lead. A real man is going to lead. And so he should be telling me what direction to go. Okay, I'm a real man. I think we should go in this direction. What? You don't ever tell me what to do. I'm strong and independent. Can't win. Can't win. I try to be a man. I try to tell you what to do. Can't win. This is how these modern women are. So they can ask you questions and they can do things that you can't do. And then when you say, well, how come you can do that and I can't? Like, what's fair about that? Well, it's not fair, but that's just the way it is. It's society. And Modern women are quick to say what is and what isn't fair. Just like this question. It's fair for me to ask it from a woman's perspective. Oh, I would ask it if I was a guy, but you're not a guy. And we can tell you as a guy that whenever we ask this, bombarded with insults, bombarded with fury, bombarded with put downs and degradation. That's what we get. So no, you wouldn't ask it if you were a guy. That's how out of touch these modern women are. I would do the same thing no, you wouldn't. Because if you were, then you would know that people are going to get in your case for that. But keep on. You guys think that you have all the options in the world. You think that everybody's going to be lining up at your door the older you get. I get older and I get hotter. There's not 1 year that goes by that I don't get better looking. Just lying to yourself. Just sitting up there drinking a glass of wine, lying to yourself. Snuggled up with the dog, with the rain outside the window, with your candle lit and your fuzzy socks, watching Netflix, lying to yourself. And that's the life that you want. Have at it.
This is where every Louisiana boy comes to measure himself before he puts his height on Hinge. Okay? That's what he did. He goes, I'm going to measure myself in the park. This is the real truth right here. And how tall am I, Callie?
6'2".
6'2".
She really 5'11".
5'11". That is like
Well,
3 inches taller. This is exactly where they all come to get their Hinge measurements. You're welcome, boys. At least you can say you didn't lie if you use this thing.
I'll take Kelly.
So y'all got jokes over there in Louisiana. All right now.
I was talking to this guy and he's like, oh, what are you doing today? I'm like, yeah, just going to like get my nails done. He's like, I really like blue nails. You should get blue nails. So I got these because I don't I don't give up what you like. Are you paying? No. I like red nails. Okay. Sorry, blue nails. Okay. Go paint your nails blue.
I don't know, man. I see where you're coming from. Hey, if this is not my husband, then I'm not going to be doing whatever you want me to do. But I think that could possibly be a double-edged sword because modern women or women in general are always wanting a man to take their opinion. But if a man were not to take your opinion, you get upset. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't consider me. How can I marry a man that never takes into consideration what I want? Yada, 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 right? So I would just be careful with this type of attitude. Once again, I get it. If he's not your man, he's not your husband, makes sense. But once again, even if you guys are not dating, there's a plethora of things that modern women want men to do. And he does it. Well, if you want to win favor with me, then you got to do this. And a man jumps through hoops. But all of a sudden, whenever a man makes a request, you don't want to do it. You're just saying, I like red nails or whatever, or blue nails or whatever it was. That's it. So, I mean, however modern women want to play it, whatever attitude they want to get, wonder why men don't court, they don't pursue. Not saying this is the reason. It's just, I'm talking about your attitude might be the reason that you might have a hard time finding a man. You don't acquiesce to anything, and the man's always got to do everything for you.